Hello students, I welcome all of you to my virtual classes. So dear students, as we have begun the new chapters and we have been learning about the Nazism as well as the rise of Hitler. So students, in our previous videos lectures we have learned about the background of the Nazism as well as the rise of Hitler. Today we will discuss that how the republic systems came into effect in Germany, or what are the circumstances which forced Germany to establish the federal structures of government or the democratic system of government in the society. So dear students, as we see that by the 20th century, the Germany was considered the most powerful country, in which it was full of resources, full of industrial development, full of economical development. It was considered most developed country by the 20th centuries. But being the most developed country, it is the Germany who was trying to show its power as well as its strength during the First World War. But in spite of having all its military power, or with the supports of these different countries, the Germany who lost the First World War and having large compensations, and they were having peace treaty with the Allied power. So students, as we see that the First World War, which was held in the 1914 to 1918, and it was held between the Allied powers, which are led by the United Kingdom, the France, and later it was joined by the USSR, known as the Russia, as well as the United States of America. In the sides of the Axis power, we see that the Germany, the Italy, as well as Japan, who are in the sides of the Axis power. So all these Axis power as well as the Allied power who joined this First World War with having great enthusiasms, and they were hoping to have the quick victory, but the war which went on for a long time and it was drained the European resources as well as it affected the whole world economically as well as politically, because with this coming of the First World War, it drained the financial conditions of all the European countries, all the colonial nations, and it affected very badly the economic situations in all of the nations. And in the First World War, many peoples, they have died, they have lost their lives, become disabled, and having great devastations when the First World War, which was held between the Axis power as well as with the Allied power. So students, as we see that the Germany being the most powerful country, they were thinking and believing that they will have the quick victory, but all their hopes, which seems to be very shattered, or it seems to be gone. Why? Because as we see that when this war which went on for a long time, it drained the financial conditions of all European countries. Not only the European countries were badly affected, but at the same time the colonial countries were very badly affected with economical conditions, because in the war which we see that the colonial nations, whatever war losses was there, the colonial people, they were trying to recover it in the colonial nations. That is why all the colonial countries were also very badly affected with this past World War. So students, as we see that when the First World War, which held for a long time, at the initial period, the Germany, which began by occupying the France as well as the So dear students, as I was telling you that the US entry which was happened in 1917, and here the Allied powers were strengthened with the entry of United States of America, and they successfully defeated the Germany as well as the Central Powers in November 1918. Because here we see that the Allied powers, they became very powerful with the coming and joining of USA, and they successfully defeated the Central Powers in November 1918. So when the defeat was happened, during that time the Germany, they felt very humiliations, and when the defeat was happened, the Imperial Germany was very badly blamed by the peoples. And here, when this Germany was defeated during that time, the abdications of the emperor was happened, and what they did was they no longer supported the emperor, and they wanted to have a new system of governance, that is known as the parliamentary form of government. So here two things given the rise of parliamentary form of government. First, the defeat of Imperial Germany, or second, it was the abdications. That means the emperor was removed from his positions. These two factors given the opportunity for the rise of parliamentary form of government. And here, when the parliamentary form of government was given very importance, during that time they started a new structures of government, that is known as the parliamentary form of government, democratic structures of government, a federal structures of government, and this is how they brought a new systems in the society, that is called the birth of Weimar Republic. That means republic system was given very importance with the defeat of Germany in the First World War. So here everybody, they blamed the monarchy by saying that the monarchy was not able to control the situations, not able to have win or victory in the First World War. So the monarchy system was very bad. Everybody, they blamed the monarchy, and they removed the monarchy from its positions, and they brought the federal structures, the democratic structures, republic systems by doing the voting systems in the society. So in order to make these parliamentary systems more successful, they have had the meeting at Weimar, and they established the federal structures in Germany. So here the National Assembly, what they did, they met at Weimar, and after meeting at Weimar, they installed the republic systems as well as the federal structures in the society. So here most of the candidates, the deputies, all these peoples of Germany were elected on the basis of equal as well as universal votes by the adults, which are including the women sections also. So it is with the universal adult franchise, the parliamentary leaders as well as the parliament leaders as well as the deputies were elected in Germany. So here the voting rights was given to every man as well as woman, and through this process the Germany parliamentary form of government came into effect, came into being, and established a new structures of government in the society. So students, when these republic systems came into effect, many of the peoples, they did not like the republic system, because this republic system which forced to accept the Germany defeat at the end of the war. So as we see that when the war was over, during that time the peace treaty which was held at the Versailles with the Allied power, and here when these First World War happened, during that time the Germany was having great losses, it was having great devastations. The Germany was blamed and it was responsible for the great war losses. The Allied power, they also blamed the Germany for the great devastations which happened to the Allied countries also. So students, we see and we understood that Germany was having all these great losses. They are such as the Germany who lost all its overseas colonies, the 10th of its populations, the 13% of its territories, 75% of iron resources, 26% of its coal to France, Poland, Denmark and Lithuania. So all these great losses that happened to Germany in the First World War, because it caused great devastations during the First World War, and here all these great losses that happened to Germany. So students, as we see that these Allied powers, they demilitarized the Germany in order to weaken its power, and here the Germany, in spite of having all these great losses, the war devastations, the great damages to Allied countries, all these are blamed and responsible to Germany, because here Germany is the one who started this First World War to occupy the regions of the European countries to prove their mighty powers. So here the Allied power, they blamed these Germany for causing great devastations and damages to these Allied countries, and when these damages was happened in the First World War, here the Germany, being the blamed country, they were forced to pay the compensations amount of 6 billion. So here the Germany, which was paying the war expenses, paying the compensations of these war expenses as well as the devastations that happened to these Allied country, and here Germany who paid nearly 6 billion of amount as the compensations money to these Allied countries. Apart from that, the Allied armies, they captured the rich resources of Germany, and finally the Germany as well as the Germany peoples, they blamed the new Weimar republics for the defeat of the end of the war, as well as they are blamed for the disgrace that was happened to them at Versailles with the peace treaty, as well as the great humiliations which was given to Germany. So students, here as we see and understood that how the Weimar or how the birth of the Weimar which happened at Germany. So with the great defeat of these emperor as well as the abdications of the monarchy, the republic systems which came to arise in Germany, and after these republic systems we see the parliamentary form of government, a federal structures of government, as well as the democratic structures of government, which given a new mode in the society, given equality status to each and every adults in the society. And this is how the birth of the Weimar which began in Germany. So with this birth of the republic systems, a new systems came into being in Germany. Thank you so much for listening to me.